Columbus, Ohio. The wording of the proposed constitutional amendment in Ohio's fall vote to secure abortion rights seems pretty straightforward. It would sanctify the right to make and enforce one's own reproductive decisions. But as campaign for and against the country's latest abortion controversy kicks off in earnest this weekend, voters are receiving a different message from opponents of measure. They describe it as a situation that threatens a wide range of parental rights. "This is our worst nightmare as parents," says a particularly worrisome online ad, funded by the opposition campaign Protect Women Ohio, for the November 1 issue. It's no surprise that anti-abortion groups that oppose the change support this message. They're trying reverse scenario for way he speaks to voters after a string of defeats in statewide voting fights since U.S. Supreme Court ended nationwide right abortion last year. Measures protecting access to abortion have found success in Democratic and Republican-leaning states such as California, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Montana, and Vermont. Just last month, Ohio voters vigorously defeated a measure that GOP lawmakers put in a special election ballot that would raise threshold pass constitutional amendments to 60. This proposal was seen as the first step nullify abortion amendment, ahead of what's expected to be the highest-profile national issue in November's election. Ohio serves as a testing ground for political messages for next year's presidential race. Abortion rights groups are trying to qualify initiatives in more states in 2024, including the potentially perpetual battlefield of Arizona. Anti-abortion groups are using Ohio campaign to reverse the chain of losses, testing debate over parental rights and gender-related health care as a potentially winning counterattack. "It's clear that misinformation about abortion doesn't work," said Elisabeth Smith, Director of State Policy and Advocacy at the Center for Reproductive Rights. "He didn't win in Michigan. He didn't win in Vermont. He didn't win in Kansas. He didn't win in Kentucky. Instead, we see anti-abortion groups seeking a new and lucrative topic of conversation." Legal experts disagree on what impact the Ohio regulation will have on parents' ability to control their children's access to abortion and gender-related health care, including surgery, where amendment states that every individual has the right to make and implement their own reproductive decisions. Opponents focus on words individual and reproductive as potential expansions. Mehek Cooke, a Republican lawyer who works with Protection Women in Ohio, said drafters of the amendment were deliberately vague when using word individual, allowing that word apply to all genders and both adults and children. "I don't think that's very deliberate and open to interpretation," she said. "It's very clear that individual means both." Ohio currently has a parental consent law regulating minors. A